Hi, everyone. This is Diane Brandon Moody, and I'm here to talk once again about my transformational program, Simply Irresistible Collective, which is starting tomorrow, Tuesday, July 14th. Today is the end of my 12 episode mini podcast episode marathon, and I tell you, it's been a lot of work. But it's been a lot of fun too because I was able to go do a lot of little snippets that you can listen to while you're walking your dog or do something really simple. It's not like sitting down and having to listen to, a whole dissertation or a gigantic sales pitch. It's pretty easy to listen to and back out again. So I think I've said almost everything that there is to say about Simply Irresistible and everything about Same Man, Different Outfit. So here is the last of what I'm going to say. These are the lies that we tell ourselves. Since I was dating from the time I was 16 to the time I was 58, when I finally got married for the first time to a great guy who is incidentally cooking dinner every night this week because he knows I'm pretty busy and that's very sweet. Uh, here's here are some of the lies that you're telling yourself. Number one, it's all that the men are so bad. I get it. Some of them are very badly trained on email or dating apps, and they send you pictures of stuff you don't even really want to look at, and they ask about sex immediately, and they can be very badly behaved in many cases, and the manosphere has a hold of a lot of them by the short and curlies. They're not your guy. They're not the one. There's a bunch of them out there that are decent and are looking for love, and they're just as confused as they are. They're as confused as you are, and they also know that there are men out there that are making it difficult for men like them. That's going on, but it's not all men. And even though going through Simply Irresistible may not change that some of these gross guys approach you or send you a picture or something like that, what I will guarantee you is it won't bother you too much, and you'll be able to find the good ones among the not so good ones because they're there. I promise you that they are. So if you've had trouble with men with reliability, with showing up or whatever, this could be for you. Some of the other lies that you tell yourself is you're too old. It's too late. My ship has sailed. Too old. Honey, you're not. I was 58, and there are plenty of women in the world who got married for the first time much later than that. Google it if you don't believe me. You'll find stories out there. I'm much too fat is another lie that people tell. Well, I would have to be honest and say that if you are a normal, height proportionate, weight proportionate person, you will probably have more people to pick from. It's not to say that you won't find anybody if you're a larger size. I have been a larger size for most of my life. I had plenty of dates the whole time. I had relationships the whole time. They weren't the ones that worked out all that well, but that's a different story, and that came from a different place. So I can tell you that that is a lie that you're telling yourself. That's also something that we talk about in Simply Irresistible. I'm not going to blow smoke and tell you it doesn't matter at all because it will narrow your choices. But that doesn't mean you have no choices. So that's another lie that you tell yourself. Um, One lie would be all the good ones are taken, married, gay, live somewhere else, whatever. No, that's not true. They may be harder to find in a small rural town in farmland country somewhere. They may be a little more difficult to find, but they're still not impossible to find. Um, to say that, all the good men are gay, hey, I was a theater major in college. I didn't know very many straight men for 3 years because almost all of the men in a theater program tend to be gay. Not all of them were. Some of my best buds were from that time frame and they weren't. And some of my best buds from them were. Didn't matter to me a bit, even back then. But I'm telling you that no, it's not true that all the good ones are taken by some way or another. Things happen. Even if they were married, sometimes they're no longer married before you quit looking. And some of those may be for very good reasons. So that's not it either. There's another myth out there that it's just my town. There are no good men in Atlanta. Honey, that just cannot be true. It just cannot be. You may have different limits in different neighborhoods, but it just can't be true. I live in Dallas, Fort Worth. There are 8 million people in this area. If you assume that it's roughly a 50-50 cut, that's 4 million people. If you assume half of them, oh, let's even say three-quarters of them are married, then that's still a million single ones. I mean, you see how this works. Math will prove that it's not where you live unless it's a teeny tiny little rural area somewhere. It's just not. But sometimes here's the question to ask yourself. Why is it so important to you to keep clinging on to those reasons that that is the problem? Why? You would rather be right about claiming that there are no good men in Atlanta than you want to be about, let me figure out how to find the right ones and be the person that the right ones want. That's where the gold is, sister. That's where the gold is. If you want to cling to all your stories, go ahead, cling to your stories, but it isn't going to get you finding love. It won't. Because you're so clinging to your stories that your brain believes it. Your brain, which is just an order taker when it comes to stuff like this, your brain says, well, she doesn't seem to want the good ones. She keeps talking about all these bad ones. All right, let's go give her a few more bad ones. That'll work. Please think about booking a love audit so that we can talk about it. We start tomorrow. And I want to be the one who helps you find the love that I've found. It's not a perfect thing. We get in arguments sometimes, we get distant sometimes, but when it comes right down to it, we know we have each other. And that means everything. Thank you for listening to this mini marathon. If anything I've said in the last 12 days has helped you see anything different, would you please let me know? Or send a fan mail or a review or something so I know that this is some content that works for you. If you have a topic you'd like me to discuss, send it to me. I'd love to talk to you. Anyway, the minute Simply Irresistible closes and we start this current cohort, a wait list will be going up so that you can get on the list for the next time. So this is going to be an important thing. So anyway, thank you again for listening. Love your feedback if you have any. And if you want to listen to someone who was happy to share her experience with coaching, go to episode 53 when CJ, my rock star client, CJ, told everything how she went from not having dated in 11 years because she was unexpectedly widowed at a pretty young age to dating six different guys because that's what she wanted. That was her desire is to date a lot of different people because she hadn't in a while, and that's what she's been doing. So listen to episode 53. I really thank you again for listening all this time, and I am going to see you in Simply Irresistible. Bye bye.